able to make 100 bars of soap at a time with these molds, and so happy about that. The thing about molds, you guys, that you can use the big molds and cut the loaves, or you can use individual molds, smaller molds that make the same quantity of soap. It's just that you don't have to cut the loaves. I prefer to do that because all of my soaps are tallow, lard, and buttermilk, and it's a hot batter because of the buttermilk. And so I do not want gel rings. I don't go through gel phase. I soak really cold, and it leaves the bars a really soft, matte, muted color for all of our natural soaps. And they stay cool in here. If I were to use the big molds with as much buttermilk as I use in our recipe, and the tallow and the lard, they all tend to soak really hot when they're going through the saponification and becoming soap. I don't want anything to scorch or burn. And so for me, I've just found that this is a sure thing. I have tested so many ways of after the pour, and I don't want any white ash on the top of my soap bars, which doesn't hurt it. It just means that moisture stayed on the top of the soap while it was going through saponification, and it leaves this white ashy film on the top, which you can just get rid of with a steamer or wipe it off or whatever, but I just don't want it there. And I hate gel rings. Those little circles in the middle of the soap bars, I hate that. So these molds work really well, and I don't go through gel phase. I don't have gel rings. And the other thing is that what you set your mold on when it's full of soap batter to cure for the first 24 hours or so matters a whole lot. If I set this on wood, wood's not a great conductor of heat, and so it's not pulling, it's basically trapping heat in the bottom of the mold, and that's also what can help it go through partial gel and create ash on top. It holds moisture in the bottom and the heat in the bottom. And so sitting these molds, leave them unopened, soap really cold, 85 to 90 degrees, soap really cold, put them on metal racks on stainless steel, which I have stainless steel counters. The heat comes out of the bottom really fast, so the middle of the loaves don't have a chance to get super hot. And these tall skinny molds, when you're using a really hot batter, and when I say hot, I say the buttermilk, because I use raw Jersey cream line milk from my dairy farmer down the road, and I make cultured buttermilk out of that, which I use in the soap. Well, it still has a lot of that heavy cream in it, and so the sugars that are in that cream and that milk get really hot, and so does tallow and lard. They tend to versus using plant oils like shea butter or coconut or whatever, they're just tendency to get really hot during saponification with the lye. Once all that's done and it becomes soap, the lye is obviously gone and you're left with the soap bar. But it's all in a matter of aesthetics and what your actual soap recipe is. Some oil don't get as hot during the saponification process, and so you may not have to worry about that. And most people I've seen watching videos and whatever that use those big slabs and then they cut them, they're using plant oils, or they're using some tallow, but then there's plant oils in there, a lot of colder oils. And so they can do that pretty fail-safe, especially if they are starting cold in the first place, and probably not have much trouble with partial gel, which is what causes those little circles in the middle of the soap bars. And all of this is just preference, but just saying that there is absolutely, all of those things matter in what happens to your soap during saponification. This particular mold, for me, I can make 100 bars of soap with 7 molds, same amount as they're making in the big slabs, but I don't have to have a splitter. I don't have to wrestle with these huge slabs of soap, and it all comes out perfect. And so there you go. There's a bunch of information that you may or may not have ever wanted to know. Y'all, stay weird, use tallow, skincare products, put beef fat on your face, you guys. I'm 60. I've been using the same recipe of tallow, lard, and buttermilk since I was little. My grandmother always made her own soap, rendered her own tallow and lard, and so I didn't learn about this last Tuesday. This is a lifelong thing, and I'm 60, so you be the judge whether it works or not. Anyway, weird people are my people. Bye.